From the outside, Ronald William Howard seemed untouched by the shadows that often accompany a life in Hollywood. Born on March 1, 1954, in Duncan, Oklahoma, he entered the world already surrounded by creativity, discipline, and the pressures of show business. His parents, actor Rance Howard and actress Jean Spiegel, introduced him to film before he could even form complete sentences. By 18 months, he was appearing in Frontier Woman, unknowingly stepping onto a path that would define his entire life. His early years combined a love for performance with the weight of constant expectation, shaping a boy who grew up faster than most. The golden cage of California. When the Howard family moved to California in the late 1950s, young Ron's world shifted dramatically. Gone were ordinary childhood routines. Instead, his days were filled with juggling scripts, rehearsals, and tutoring sessions. Though he called it a golden cage, it was a life both safe and isolating, built around responsibilities he never chose. While other children played freely outside, he studied near Stage 40 at Delu Studios, quietly absorbing the lessons of acting under his father's careful guidance. The pressures of early fame were subtle but relentless, quietly carving a sense of duty and restraint into his personality that would follow him for decades. Opie Taylor. Innocence on screen. Everything changed on October 3, 1960, when the Andy Griffith Show premiered. 6-year-old Ron became Opie Taylor, a symbol of innocence for an entire generation. While audiences adored his performances, few saw the personal cost. In a small room tucked away from the studio's bustle, he studied lines and practiced scenes, missing out on the simple joys of childhood. His father insisted he act honestly, never cutely, a principle that left Ron both confident and constrained. The adoration of millions came with hidden emotional tolls, a pressure to embody perfection while never fully exploring his own identity outside the character. Adolescence between sets and classrooms. After the series ended in April 1968, Ron entered adolescence under the constant gaze of an audience that still remembered him as Opie. School years were split between Burbank classrooms and rushed tutoring near film sets. Even on the set of The Music Man in 1962, he battled private anxieties, whispering to Shirley Jones that he couldn't master a dance routine, while the camera cleverly obscured his struggle. These early experiences instilled both discipline and self-doubt, teaching him the need to perform flawlessly while hiding vulnerability. By the time he reached adulthood, the foundations of his career were laid, but so were the unseen scars of childhood expectation. Richie Cunningham. A second defining role. In 1974, Ron Howard stepped into another iconic role as Richie Cunningham on Happy Days. Once again, millions adored him, but he felt trapped inside a character untouched by the evolving realities of his own life. Fame brought comfort, yet it also reinforced patterns from childhood. The compulsion to always say yes, always meet expectations. By 1977, at just 23, he knew he needed an escape. That outlet came through directing, starting with Roger Corman's offer for Grand Theft Auto. It was the beginning of a new chapter, one that allowed him to exert creative control while slowly reclaiming autonomy from roles that had defined him since infancy. The director's journey, directing became a lifeline for Howard, offering both freedom and responsibility. Films like Night Shift, Splash, Cocoon, Willow, and Parenthood showcased his versatility and growing mastery behind the camera. Yet the path was grueling. The pinnacle came with Apollo 13 in 1995, a production that demanded 612 zero-gravity sequences and 18-hour days, across 90 straight days. He eventually collapsed on set, a stark reminder that even behind the camera, the pressures of filmmaking mirrored those of his childhood. Success brought recognition, but it also revealed that his personal well-being often came second to professional demands, family struggles, and absences. Despite professional triumphs, the greatest personal burdens stemmed from family. In 1991, during 6 months filming Far and Away in Ireland, Ron left his newborn twins, Jocelyn and Bryce, with his wife Cheryl. Returning, he found his children barely recognized him. The emotional toll haunted him for decades. He later admitted this moment broke something inside. Even efforts to avoid repeating the mistake faltered, as similar patterns re-emerged during Cinderella Man in 2005. These absences forced Howard to confront a lifelong belief instilled in childhood. He always had to prove himself worthy and meet every demand placed upon him. Reflections on sacrifice and regret. By the time Ron and Cheryl celebrated their 50th anniversary in 2025, he openly expressed a wish to trade every award and accolade for the lost moments with his children. The internal cost of success became more visible as he reflected on decades spent serving the stories of the world, while sometimes failing to fully inhabit his own life. These regrets weren't just fleeting thoughts. They were deep, ongoing reckonings with the compromises of fame. He acknowledged that the patterns formed in childhood, obedience, perfectionism, and a compulsion to please, had shaped both his triumphs and his sorrows. The shadow of a brother's struggle. Perhaps the heaviest chapter in Howard's life involved his younger brother, Clint, the only person who shared the rare experience of growing up inside Hollywood's machine. Clint survived addiction after a dramatic 1990 ultimatum, yet he now faces a serious, life-altering illness. For a man accustomed to controlling outcomes, solving problems, and guiding projects to completion, this was a reality he could not fix. Howard describes facing this truth with a trembling voice, acknowledging the helplessness that comes with watching someone you love endure suffering that cannot be rewritten, no matter the money, fame, or influence at your disposal. The legacy of a life in Hollywood. As Ron Howard turns 71, he carries a legacy worth an estimated $200 million. Yet the most profound lessons have come in silence. Between projects, away from cameras and accolades, he reflects on a life spent telling the stories of others while sometimes neglecting his own. The tension between public success and private struggle is a recurring theme, illustrating that even those who appear steady, gentle, and untouchable carry unseen battles. His journey underscores that fame does not shield one from regret, burnout, or the heartbreak of missed moments with loved ones. A life fully seen. Howard's story reminds us that the brightest lights often cast the darkest shadows. From a child actor navigating the pressures of early fame to a celebrated director facing the challenges of family and personal responsibility, he has carried burdens few could imagine. Yet by opening up in recent years, he allows us to see the man behind the roles, flawed, devoted, and deeply human. The narrative of his life is a testament to resilience, reflection, and the ongoing work of reconciling personal desires with professional achievement. His voice, once steady and private, now shares truths that resonate far beyond Hollywood.